It's 2025 and I haven't played The Sims 4 since 2025 started. There were a lot of things that I wanted to address. There were a lot of things that I wanted to stop doing, and there were a lot of things that I wanted to do to improve my gameplay. So today I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts, some of the things that I think could help to make your gameplay a little bit more interesting and to help your gameplay to stand out. Now, this is going to be kind of like a talk. So, we are basically just going to be chatting today and kind of just discussing a little bit about my sim. And while I am doing that, I'm also just going to kind of be tweaking my, this preset here. I'm just going to be tweaking it a little bit just because I feel like there are certain things that I added that may not be playing themselves out really good right now. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of go through those. I think maybe it would be best for me to turn off the filmic pass. I don't know, the filmic pass was adding this kind of weird blur that I wasn't really fond of. So yeah, I just decided the filmic pass is not going to work. So anyways, while my sim is just sitting here, she's watching the TV, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about what you can do to improve your game. Let's start off with mods. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy behind playing with mods, but hear me out. Don't have too much mods. And I'm saying this because I was a person that had at least 200 gigabytes in my game. And it was only after I continuously played with these games for months on end that I started to realize a certain pattern. I would put too much mods in my game because I would go shopping for mods, I would see something that I like, and I would go, oh my god, my sim could possibly use this. And then how many times do I use that specific mod that I literally was just ranting about? Hardly, if ever, any at all. So, what I do now is whenever I'm CC shopping, I carefully select items. That's not to say that there are any creators out there that may be better than any or may be more suitable for being in your game than others, but it's just to say that you are supposed to be a little bit selective about what you put in your game. And by that I mean, is it something that you are going to see yourself using a lot? Or is it something that you are going to have in your game that you're probably not going to remember unless you see a random townie using it, or B, you just happen to be scrolling through looking for one thing and then you saw that thing. So, what I started doing was whenever I go CC shopping, I try to focus on the things that I think would benefit my sim. So, instead of going CC shopping blindly, I specifically look for a specific thing. So, for instance, I am going CC shopping and I'm not going to put a bunch of bulk stuff to download. What I do is I play my game, and as I'm playing my game, if I see a specific thing or if as I'm playing I notice that there's a specific thing missing from the game, I have a notepad on my desk and I write down what exactly it is that I think my sim will need. So, for instance, maybe your sim is taking a little too long when they're cooking, and that can be quite annoying for you. You can write down in your notepad a mod that speeds up cooking so that when you go searching, you know what exactly you're looking for. It's very easy to go CC shopping when you have a list of predefined items that you want to download versus going sporadically shopping for things and just ending up getting a bunch of stuff that you don't necessarily need. At the end of the day, I think this would very much improve your gameplay but also improve the quality of your game. Another thing that I think would be very beneficial to anyone who is playing The Sims for the first time or has been a long-time player of The Sims 4 is to try and find a style of sim that suits you. Even if it means taking inspiration from someone else, it is always good to find a sim style that specifically works for you. For me personally, I love my sims to have big heads and big over exaggerated eyes just because I love the expressions that sims make. So as you guys can see, my sim here, she very much has this very big eyed, wide doe eyed expression, and I absolutely just love that. I think she is just super cute, with the big eyed expression, and I just love the over exaggerated features. Another thing is, if you can, find a G shade that would fit your playstyle. Now, I have G shades for certain styles, and it might sound like the strangest thing you've ever heard, but it works. And hear me out. Whenever I'm feeling a certain way, I always choose a certain reshade that brings out that certain feeling, that emotion that I may be trying to display. So, for instance, in this particular reshade, which I found a while ago and I have been constantly tweaking it, I use this whenever I want to find something that is a little bit more bright and brings out more pops of color. And then I have others that might just look a little bit more cartoony, like for instance, this sour apple or this strawberry one. The strawberry one gives a very dusty, hazy look, but the sour apple one just gives this very cartoony effect to my game, which I think I'm just going to stick to this one for the entirety of this video. I really love the cartoony look that it gives. It makes everything feel more bright, more vibrant. There is more sharp lines. Everything just feels a little bit more bright, and there's just a lot more color and definition in certain things and shadows and stuff like that. I'm telling you, a good G shade is the best G shade. Another one of the G shades that I use in my game is by Urban Sims. It's called Gemini. Gemini is the one that I was using before. Recently, however, it has been a little bit dark, and I have been trying to figure out how I can brighten this one up a little bit. Because I did have it at like perfect settings, but when G Shade did their update, it kind of messed up stuff. Right now, multi LUT doesn't seem to work for me in G Shade, which is a shame because I really love using the multi LUT feature, and it just does not seem to work the same. Another thing that I want to go ahead and show you guys is setting up your calendar. As you guys can see, my calendar is chock full with activities. Now, it does not mean in particular that you have to have a calendar that is full, but it is nice when your Sims have a lot of stuff that they can do. Now, each of these holidays are holidays that may not even be stay at home for work or require you to decorate. I use the calendar as a way to remind me to do certain things in the game. And for those of us that have majority, if not all of the expansion packs, you know how overwhelming some of that stuff can get. So many different packs, so many different ways to play. Sometimes we forget. For instance, I went half a year without sending my Sims on a vacation, and I was actually wondering why my gameplay felt so dead. Felt dead because I wasn't allowing my Sims to do all of the extra little things that you would do, normally for going for vacations, or maybe even just having them ride a bike. Look, there's this whole little neighborhood park down here, and you can have your Sims just go down here and play basketball. They can do lots of the other interesting things that you can do in the game, like building this tree house. There's so much more to the world than meets the eye. Another thing is, whenever you're creating your sim, try to have a storyline, and not just a storyline for the sim themselves, but have a storyline or an aesthetic rather for your sim. For instance, this particular sim, she's very much into like earthy tones in her apartment. However, when she dresses, you can see it reflects on the type of colors that she wears. As you can see, she wears more of like pinks. You will see her in yellows and stuff like that, but her apartment seems to go with a very cottagecore or a naturific type vibes. She is more into like flowers, stars, and cottagecore for things. She loves green. She loves just the earthy tones, fairy lights, that kind of stuff. You can see you can see it in the color palette of her apartment. So you get a various idea of what your sim might like. Another thing is whenever you are decorating their houses, try to decorate their houses based on the personality or vibes that you are getting from them. So I usually recommend that even if you don't have a backstory for your sim, that you spend some time playing with them for a little bit, play on the normal time speed and watch your sims for a little bit. Watch the things that they're interested in, the things that they're not interested in, and then you can start decorating their apartment. So, for instance, you might set a sim to watch the TV and realize that she loves watching the TV a lot. So you would spend a great deal of time decorating her living room because you would say that her living room is the space that she spends a lot of her time at. Or maybe perhaps you might have a sim that loves going jogging. So you can set up on your calendar probably a special, or you can even have them join a special group for going jogging at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or maybe even having them just have a little space in their home. Where is my sim? Having a space in their home where they can do some exercise, maybe even some yoga or something. It also helps to make your sims feel more alive, and just having them go out there in the world. Sometimes you might not want to take your sims traveling, and that might be because you might be using a weaker computer. And one mod that I highly recommend that can just help to change the space or pace rather of things when your computer might take a little bit of time to load is the tool mod. And I'm going to show you guys a specific neighborhood in one of my worlds and just kind of show you what I mean by having the tool mod in your game. So we're gonna head down to this says San Sequoia Daycare, but it really isn't the San Sequoia Daycare because we are in Evergreen Harbor. But we're gonna head down here and I'm gonna kind of show you guys just how this particular world is decorated so you guys can get an idea. Now the tool mod is very easy to use. There are lots of videos on YouTube where you can find people just giving you the easiest ways to use the tool mod, but I guarantee you that the tool mod is a great way to keep your world full and vibrant. Now, I created this save file specifically for my niece because her laptop was not able to handle all of the packs and still be able to travel. And what I meant by that was she didn't like traveling because of how long the loading screen would take in between travels. So what I did was I created a save file, and basically this save file allows her to be able to do a lot of things without having to travel often. So for instance, if she was living like maybe in one of these like apartments or something and she decided to travel in this area, then she could come down here and there's so many things that she can do in this particular area. Now, these buildings aren't particularly usable, but there is a roller rink, there is the Ferris wheel that your sim can ride. Your sim can actually come here and take photos. They can swing on the swings. They can even get bubble tea or maybe even pretend to sell bubble tea here at the bubble tea stall. And as you come a little further up, there are even other food stalls here. They're not really operable, but they make for great pictures and they make for like pretending to send your sim out on dates, that kind of stuff. It really just improves the overall quality. Also, in this section over here, I kind of made this very cozy park area where your Sims have tons of activities that they can do off lot. So the world actually feels a whole lot more vibrant now just because of the many things that you can do here in this particular area. So as you guys can see, I have lots of trees, shrubbery, and flowers down. Your Sims can actually come here and watch a movie. There's a tree house. There's some camping tents that your Sims can actually go camping at, food places so they can sit down and eat. There is a little bit of a playground for your Sims to play, swing, and slide and stuff like that. And as we move over here to the boardwalk area, there is even right where the community board is, there's lots of flowers so you can have your Sims take pictures. And behind of this spa, we actually have a little area where your children or toddlers can come and splash around in the little splash park that I created right here. So there are quite a lot of activities that your Sims can do in Evergreen Harbor here in a save file, and I'm just giving you ideas of how you can use the tool mod to decorate your worlds so that there's a lot more things to do in the world without requiring you to travel to an extra lot. So, say for instance, you decide, okay, mom is at the spa and you bring everyone. Everyone has something that they can do in the area, all whilst mom is at the spa. Maybe you might have mom at the spa, the kids can be out here playing on the splash pad. Maybe dad wants to come over and just kind of watch a movie over here. Or maybe you have some teenagers in the family, you can bring them over here to the Ferris wheel. They can take some pictures, grab some bubble tea, maybe go skating on the roller skating rink. There's so much that you can do in this particular area of the world. And that's why I decided to fill it up like this, because I really wanted to get that feel of it being an open world rather than it being a world that you have to load every time you need to travel to a separate lot. This save file is, of course, on my Patreon, so if you want to go, you can go ahead and get it completely free. I just put it on Patreon so it'll be easier for you to download with just one click. So there you have it. You can just go on Patreon and you can just go ahead and download this save file. It's already set up and you can have a blast playing in this save file. A lot of the worlds that I have in this world have actually been redone. And some of these buildings I might need to redo because I did have CC in my game at some point and some of the things may have been removed. So some of these lots will need to be replaced with newer lots and so on and so forth. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys some ideas of how you can improve your gameplay, how you can improve the worlds, and how you can overall just have your Sims have a better experience in the game. I think The Sims 4 is on a path to greatness. I've seen some great things so far, and I am absolutely proud of EA for how far they have come. I have had my gripes with EA, but lately I realized that my gripes were because I was focusing on things that I missed from The Sims 3 without seeing the things that were already in front of me. Sometimes all you need to do is just step away from the past and step into the present so that you can enjoy the things that are in front of you. Anyways, you guys, I hope some of these tips may have interested you into hopping back into the game and kind of just changing up the way that you play. Let me know what you think in the comment section of the video down below. Was there anything in this video that you thought was good? Was there anything in this video that you thought was bad? Or was there anything not in the video that you would like to share? You can leave it in the comment section down below. We're all one big family here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end off this episode. I want to thank you guys so much for coming by, checking out my channel. Let me know what you think, as always, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.